Hi, I'm Daniel, and this is my second video on OKKO Yet to Be Heroes. My first was focused on one specific storyline, while this is more overview of the show as a whole, including the episodic storylines and how that ties to the world expanding and theme of change. We'll also discuss how the show handles the hero world and why a simpler version is the best decision to make. This video isn't going to be structured chronologically like the TKO video, but there is still an order of points looking at a very underappreciated show that will become 5 years old this year. We'll look at what the early episodes do after, but first let's go through the pilot, Yake with Piazza Turbo. In this we don't even see Boxman, the biggest threat is graffiti. It is very slice of life execution, which contrasts the superheroes and their epic intro. Compared to the actual show, parts of the art style like the main designs have changed, but I kept that contrast. KKO is about what it's like to work in retail more than anything else. KO wants to be a hero, but the main focus is the everyday heroes you see around your local area and activities that happen around that. Brad and Edith are KO's co-worker and friends who mostly go on adventures, but the smaller kind like finding an item in the back room of a store. Mr. Guy is the boss, who at first is seen like a god for being level 11, but the audience and KO both get to know him more as the show goes on. Since it's a piazza, there is more shops like a shopping centre, and there are memorable side characters who work and go around here. The location of the piazza is really well built and is very familiar after only a couple of episodes, even though the fictional elements here start to feel normal. Because of course there's aliens, anthropomorphic animals and strawberry people. Even the animation that goes off model a yacht looks very stylized, which makes it its own thing. It's not something you can confuse with another show because the art style is so different. We also have Boxmore leading onto the main villain early on, Bjord Boxman, who isn't taken that seriously. He is like Plankton involved in the next door business who they have to stop and Doofenshmirtz's personality. Something in common with all three characters is that they fail a lot to the point where Boxman sending robots to attack them is just seen as something that happens on the daily. Boxman was presented as threatening in the first episode because Cleo was new, but it gets lessened with each attack by Boxman's patheticness. This is just the average things that happen in their life. We also get all development from the Boxmore family as well. Of course we have the main three of Daryl, Shannon and Raymond, who are the most common ones we see, but there's also Ernesto, Jethro and Micaiah. The later two can't even speak for dialogue, but they are still good characters. This helps Boxmore also be a familiar location with likeable characters, although you don't root for them. The cast there even expands in Season 2, making Boxmore episodes better. Most Season 1 episodes are just in the Piazza Boxmore area, and I think the small trope is great here. Okay, done with the spoiler free analysis, the next part will have spoilers. The main part of OKKO Heroes is the idea of change. And I have so far been mostly on about Season 1, but the theme mainly starts with Season 2. The Season 2 premiere is even titled Season Change, which has Rad and Edith having time skip change in the signs, caused accidentally. This episode rejects the idea of change, with the changes being bad, and it tells the audience the show will continue as before, but something has changed. Davol is now in charge of Boxmore. I won't go too much into it after my next OKKO video, but Davol stays in charge for half a season. It doesn't change how most episodes are, and while this could be seen as a problem, I think it has a deeper meaning now explained as I go through the events after. Season 2 expands the world from just simplistic setup in Season 1, especially with the point stuff. I'll go over how it handles the hero stuff in the next section, but anyway. The point prep by episode arc is great for how it pushes Enid from a main character to the main character in such a good way. For Ayade, for the way Point is portrayed as a toxic and even ironic villainous hero academy. For Ayade again, and for how it expands the world into a new location in an extraordinary way. At the end of the first semester, Enid returns to the Piazza, going back to the usual instead of supporting a bad system. Soon after, there's the change with Venomous and Fink moving to Boxmore, but it's also not a big deal and life is still normal for the heroes. The Season 2 finale, Dark Piazza, was months young and a massive thing, and at the end, Cleovad, Eden and Dende became proper heroes. First, people place them in the store, but they go back to work there, as if the world and life is changing, with the show and Kyo doesn't want to change too much. Then there was the whole Venomous reveal and TKO stuff, which I went over in my previous video, that finally shakes things up for the characters. Then we get to the final episode, which is about Kyo wanting notoriety again, but things are changing, going at a faster speed. But the thing is, that is what life is like. Things happen before you can process it, and you can only be involved in it when you accept what's happening and accept change. Thank you for watching the show, it's so amazing, and it's one of the best finales for a show. I really like how the show starts off simple, being about working at a shop in one location, but the world is expanding. And as much as characters like KO and some others like Boxman as well trying to avoid it, that's what life is. The show ending in a way with life continuing is spectacular and makes the show more realistic than a lot of others. Yes, the show will yield to magical and fantasy elements. I am done with the main portion, and while it would make sense to end here with that message, I also want to talk about how the show handles the hero universe since it related to world building. At the start of the show, Cleo wants to be a hero, but doesn't know how and thinks it's a different process. There's power levels on power cards and everyone can have a level, well except Kappas but most can. The show doesn't need to start with or eventually a large explanation on how being a hero works. The show just starts the way it does, which was a great decision because stuff like whether being a hero is a job and how much it pays is not the focus here. Season 1 has Kyo and Edith training to be heroes by working the piazza, and included 2 flashback episodes of Carol and Mr. Gar in Hero Agency Point. Some more does come reveal when Chip, Damage and Foxtail go to the piazza, and they are shown to be corrupt. Point Prefect shows more, also AD, but it is not too much that is exposition dump. This is the style of world building where it expands in scope but stays character focused, which is great. Since it's not overly built up, KO being F100 at a time skip doesn't seem underserved. It could be like the audience thinks we need to see him grow a lot, but the way it's presented is just a natural thing to end this amazing show, in a satisfying way. In conclusion, I hope you enjoyed me laying out reasons why the show is great. It picks a simple approach instead of trying to be a big overarching story like Avatar. That show influences everything, and most story-driven shows try to recreate what made it special, but OK Go Yet to Be Heroes doesn't do that. I like writing these more analytical videos rather than reviews, and there'll be about 2 or 3 more OK Go videos. There could be more because there I can discuss about the show, but I still need to care about views. I can't just make content that a few of my audience will actually care about. I just made 4 somewhat younger videos in a row, which aren't as rare now. I don't think 8 minutes barely classifies as young than average anymore. So I'll go back to some of the more shorter videos with new releases coming out. The end.